What's up, people? It's your girl, Adeola. You guys like my braids? You know, I told you I was gonna braid my hair after seeing those pictures of those women. You know, they really inspired me. Did I hear somebody say that it's not her real hair? Some of you like to talk too much. Amebo, what is your own? If it is on my head, it is my hair. And they call it miracle when your hair grows overnight. So please, face your own business. This was done by a friend of mine from Cote d'Ivoire. Yes. Now let's talk about Africa. You know, I've been telling you guys that when a country doesn't have good leadership, that you will start seeing all kinds of drama. Imagine one guy, just one guy, in a country of like 160 million people. One yeye guy says that if Mr. Jonathan is not re-elected as the president of Nigeria in 2015, that there will be no peace, there will be war in Nigeria. Can you imagine? Not only that, this guy says if anybody tries to arrest him, that Nigeria will become history. See drama, see drama. I said, who are you? Who are you by the gate? What is his name? Wait, Asari Dokuba. I know this guy. It's one of the Niger Delta militants. Yes, the ones that recently got amnesty. You see why I have a problem with amnesty? Once they get it, these people, they think that they're untouchable. This guy is not serious. You know that not long ago he was in the news, like in December, saying that this same Jonathan will lose in the 2015 election. And now he has changed his mind. And you know, because the Jonathan administration knows that he's part of the Niger Delta militant. After he said Jonathan will not win 2015, they went and said to him so that he won't start any trouble. As in, they went and gave him the pipeline protection contract just to shut him up. Wait, is he pregnant? Oh my god. Okay, he's not pregnant. I think he just ate too much. It is what happens. When you get too much money from the government, you can't control yourself, you start eating too much. You see, Bele? So my people, if you hear him saying that there will be war if Jonathan is not re-elected, please don't be alarmed. This is nothing serious. As you can see, he can't even run fast, you know, with that big belly. So I'm not worried about him at all. But you know what I'm worried about? Why we're still battling with Boko Haram in Nigeria. Do you know that we now have a new secret cult? Yes, killing police officers like chicken. More than 45 police officers were killed in one day last week by this cult. They call themselves Ombatse. I say, which kind of country is this now? Now we are not just afraid of Boko Haram, we have to be afraid of Ombatse. And what else is coming? You know, this new cult, I've been hearing all kinds of versions about their own story. What I heard is that the Ombatse cult is made up of Egon people. I learned that about 3 months ago, that many of them were killed by some Fulanis and people from Chad, and that the governor of that state did not do anything when these people were attacked. In retaliation, the Egon people went and formed their own cult. And I heard that they use a lot of juju. Yes, black power. Me, I don't know which one is true. That is just what I heard. All I know is that the Nasarawa state government, after finding out that these people carry arms, they sent like 95 police officers to go and arrest their leader. I said, why do you need 95 police officers to arrest one man? But on their way, my people, these policemen were ambushed by the Ombatse militiamen, killing more than 45 police officers on the spot. 45! The officers that escaped said that they kept firing at these people, so nothing happened. They said the bullets were hitting these people, but it was just falling down on the ground. I said, okay, we don't enter Yawa be that, so if you fire at people and nothing happens, in fact, we don't graduate from frying pan to fire. Imagine 45 police officers dead in one day, and we are not at war. I mean, what will it take for this government to realize that things are really falling apart? Achebe was so right. May he so rest in peace, Things fall apart, fall apart, fall apart. And let me tell you, many people are starting to go crazy, especially some police officers, after seeing their colleagues being killed like chicken. The other week, when Boko Haram killed 26 policemen in one day in Bama, you know that when their colleagues went and took their dead bodies to teaching hospital in Maduguri, and there was no room in the mortuary, do you know that the police officers went crazy? These police officers lashed their anger at the doctors and hospital workers. They destroyed lab equipment. They started beating up the doctors, everybody that works in the hospital. They opened fire. They injured many people. In fact, they started throwing away dead bodies of other people, you know, so they can create room for their own colleagues. I said, isn't that displaying some level of craziness? These policemen are already in a destructive psychological state of mental psychasthenia with nervous prostration, cataclysm, and frustration by hocus pocus. You understand me? I'm sorry, I'm a Nigerian. We can't help it. We have to speak big grammar. Do you know that 300 doctors and hospital workers went on strike immediately? They said, we are no more working. I mean, I don't blame them. Who wants to die? You see how things are breaking down in a country known as the giant of Africa? And well, what did Mr. President do? Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, I actually feel sorry for the guy. What did he do? He declared a state of emergency. I'm like, what? That's it? If you want to go in that route, declaring states of emergency, I think you have a lot of things to add to your list. First of all, we need to declare a state of emergency on the condition of our roads in Nigeria. The roads are killing people too. Every year, thousands of people are being killed on that road. Not just that, Mr. President. Yes, we need to also declare a state of emergency on the state of our hospitals. Yes, I know you take your wife to Germany, but some of us cannot afford to go to Germany. Why can't we declare a state of emergency on the condition of our hospitals? Especially government-owned hospitals. We also need to declare a state of emergency on the salary of our senators. That money is too much. How can the minimum wage still be 18,000 naira per month? 18,000, and these senators are getting millions of naira. Add to the list, we need to declare a state of emergency on policemen collecting bribe on the roads. Yes, it's high time we eradicate that in Nigeria. Why do we have to have so many roadblocks? Just traveling from one place to the other, you have to prepare 50 naira to give to policemen. We need to declare a state of emergency on that. So like 30 minutes after he declared state of emergency, Boko Haram went and killed the Secretary of Christian Association of Nigeria in Borno State, Reverend Paya Musa. They went and killed the guy. I guess they're trying to make a statement that everything that you just said means nothing. You get what I'm saying? Like I told you guys, I don't know much, and I don't want to pretend that I know anything. I'm just keeping it real. So this month, the Organization of African Unity, OAU, is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they're also celebrating over a decade of the formation of the African Union. I mean, how wonderful. Would you believe it's been 50 years already? I wish the OAU and the AU happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, do well. Excuse me. What do these people do, by the way? What exactly, representatives of the AU and OAU, whatever you call yourself. If you guys are watching me, a lot of people are wondering what exactly you guys are doing. What do you do? What have you achieved in the last 50 years? What have you done? I mean, you can't stop war in Africa. I mean, there's like 12 different wars going on in different African countries at a time. And we always have to have the UN, the French troops, and the European troops, to come and intervene in our business every time. Remember the genocide in Darfur? What did this African Union do? What did they do? And remember the genocide in Rwanda? What did you do? And as we are dealing with Boko Haram right now in Nigeria, what have they done? My people, these people don't have the will or the political means to do anything except to fight each other. Yes, they're always fighting each other. I mean, just take a look at what is going on in Congo. Till today, millions have died, So what exactly are these people celebrating? What are you celebrating? 50 years of what? And even the building that they call their headquarters, it was the Chinese people that built that building and donated it to the African Union, which is why our leaders cannot say anything when these people exploit our countries. I knew it. I knew that the whole thing was a joke, which is why many of them just sleep when they go to their meetings. Che, Mugabe, wake up now. You see what I'm saying? These people, they just go, they sleep. By the way, what happened there to the peer review? That process where African leaders can review the performances of their peers in other countries, so that they can tell President so, you are not doing well enough, you need to step up your game. Yes, what happened to that? That thing must have been there a long time ago. As you can see, everybody is getting away with anything among these leaders in Africa. It seems like they replaced that peer review with a peer exchange of tactics in corruption, oppression of their people, and in election rigging. So honestly, you guys need to step up your game. Do something tangible. So lastly, I want to say that on behalf of myself, I want to wish you guys happy anniversary. Do well. I'm just keeping it real. So did you guys hear what happened in Kenya last week? More than 40 mentally challenged patients escaped from Mathari Psychiatric Hospital, the largest psychiatric hospital in all of Kenya. Imagine that, 40 of them in one day. I mean, these people were organized, and you could tell that they've been planning it for a long time. They overpowered all the security guards, and many of them actually went back home to their family members, telling them, we don't like staying in that psychiatric hospital. I'm like, Are these people really mentally challenged? If they could organize their escape and also find their way back home by themselves, I'm like, are they really mentally challenged? And then I asked my Kenyan friends, about how these patients are being treated in that hospital. You would not believe what my Kenyan friends told me. They said, Adeola, it's a very, very poor facility without adequate sanitation. That for the last 2 decades, nothing has been done to upgrade the place. They have open sewage and drainage system, and it's the same old building erected by the colonial masters, the British. I said, what? And on top of that, I heard that there's a lot of abuse going on in that hospital. You know how Africans don't respect mentally challenged people? It's true, we don't. My friend said that sometimes they beat them mercilessly, and in fact, many of the patients are being raped by other patients in that hospital, and no one does anything about it. I said, Kai, no wonder the patients escaped now. I mean, who would want to stay in a place like that? I mean, take a look at this video made by CNN when they visited that psychiatric hospital.
Mathare Hospital is a place most Kenyans fear.
They are locked up. There's no kind of game. It's like all they think about is that they are sick and they're not meant to think about anything else.
And what we found was shocking.
And there's somebody who died today at night. Somebody died.
Behind a steel door, a shrouded corpse of a man that patients say died the night before, put next to someone in an isolation cell. Hospital staff denied the body had been left there all night, but demanded we delete the video.
So, I mean, why are we making such a big deal out of this?
When we refused, we were locked in with the patients.
I want you to open the gate so we can walk out so we're not locked into Ward 9.
The patients take the opportunity to tell us their stories. The powerful tranquilizers they're given, making it nearly impossible to do the simplest tasks. How they crammed in at night, 12 beds to a dorm. Patients claim they are raped by other patients, and the hospital staff does nothing. The administrators say they have not heard of rape cases. The patients must pay to be here, but they call themselves inmates. And by this point, so were we. Finally, we called the Kenyan Prime Minister's office, which worked to get us freed.
Thank you. 3 hours.
Can you imagine? They locked up the CNN reporters for 3 hours just because they got video of what goes on inside the hospital. They locked them up. In Africa, we don't like the world to see our dirty laundries, and we still don't wash them all. In fact, we keep piling them up. By the way, this is not peculiar to Kenya. Not at all. You guys know how we treat mentally challenged people in Nigeria now and in Ghana. Yes, it happens in Nigeria, in Ghana. I mean, our leaders have not taken care of people who are well. Why would they see the need to take care of those who are mentally challenged? Honestly, many of these people would probably be well by now if given proper care. How can you put 12 people in one small room? Even if you were not crazy, that is enough to drive somebody crazy. 12 people in one room, for what? Did you notice that they don't do any activities? They just drug them all day and they feed them pathetic food and lock them up like prisoners. Why not teach them some skills? Let them have some level of education, or make them play sports. Because anybody can have some crazy moments, but that doesn't mean that they should be treated like this. By the way, what happened to Lucy Kibaki now? Lucy, my Lucy. Yes, what happened? Not that anything happened. She's okay, but I heard that she was a little she had some challenges. Yes, she had some challenges. Like scan. But you have to give it up to her husband. The man stood by her the whole time, constantly reminding us that he has only one wife.
I'm married. And I have only one wife.
So while we're talking about Kenya, did I tell you guys that 11 young ladies were recently arrested for, how do I even say this? Well, for doing it with a dog. A dog, yes! They all slept with a dog, making a pornographic video for some white guy who came from God knows where. You see what I'm saying? People don't have shame anymore. What is this world going to? What if the dog has some kind of a disease or infection? Do dogs normally have STDs? I mean, is there like any protection out there for dogs? Just imagine all of them with one dog. Didn't they just pass something across to each other for free? Rishi. Young girls, students, I mean, how much were you paid? How much that you are willing to do it with a dog? Kai, that reminds me of the baby making factory that they recently discovered in Nigeria. Did you guys hear about it? Things are happening, oh my people, scary things. Nigerian policemen recently busted a baby making factory in Imo State, where one woman held like 30 young girls, teenagers, as hostages, getting them pregnant by 2 guys and selling their babies. On the outside, the place is disguised, as a pure water making factory. So people come and they buy pure water without knowing that anything is going on inside that compound. They also put a sign outside the building that says motherless babies home. Meanwhile, inside the compound, the woman whose name they still don't know, they just call her Madam 1000. This woman has 2 guys on standby to get the girls pregnant, and then she has a small hospital where they deliver the baby right inside the compound, and she sells the babies immediately. A baby girl is sold for like 450,000 naira and upward, and the baby boy is sold starting from 800,000 naira. I said, see trouble, gender inequality, even when they are selling these babies. Kai, Nigeria, I wonder who is buying these babies from her. I won't be surprised if there are ritualists among the people that are buying the babies. Who knows what they do with these babies? And then she gives the teenage mother 50,000 naira as payment for her service. 50,000 for carrying a baby for 9 months. Just imagine. And then they go and get them pregnant again, even before their body heals, so that she can have another baby to sell. I said, Kai, can you imagine? Some of these girls who tried to escape were wounded because the woman put broken bottles on the fence walls, throughout the compound, so that they would not be able to escape.
Sarah was held against her will in the factory.
Some tried taking their lives, some tried escaping. Along the line, they got beaten up. So I was among the ones who tried to escape, but there was no way.
The pregnant girls were brought here to deliver the babies. Some of the girls and babies died during childbirth here.
Man, things are happening, my people. And the woman is still on the run, oh. But these girls, I can't even imagine the kind of physical and psychological damage that they've experienced. So if you're watching me from Imo State and you have a teenage daughter or a teenage sister, please ensure that they know about this so that they can be very careful with strangers and even with friends. You get what I'm saying? So that they won't be lured into something like this. Because we all know that there is more than one baby factory in Nigeria. Remember last year they discovered one in Abia? Yes, so please make sure that your sisters know about these things. So I'm just saying, and I'm just keeping it real. So a lot of crazy things are happening in Swaziland right now that I think you guys need to know about. First of all, the Civil Aviation Authority in Swaziland this week really cracked me up big time. Guess what? They released a statement that whenever witches are flying on broomsticks, that they must not fly above 150 meters. That if they do, they will be arrested and fined 500,000 rands. I was like, what? First of all, I didn't know that African witches fly on broomsticks. I think they just disappear and reappear somewhere, like we see in Nollywood movies. Yes, that is what I thought. I may be wrong, but I thought the broomstick thing is for witches in Western countries. But really, how bad is witchcraft in Swaziland now that the Aviation Authority has to address them? I mean, is there like traffic jam in the air when a plane is trying to land? Do they have to like shush the witches? Or is it that people are no longer getting good cell phone signals because the witches have blocked the atmosphere? But not just that, my people. They just banned underage marriage so that you have to be 18 before you can get married. And I'm like, what about the king? Does that law apply to him as well? I mean, the guy already has like 12 wives, but almost every year he picks a new bride, and sometimes they are not up to 18. So does this new law apply to him? And not only that, the police are now arresting young girls who wear miniskirts. They said that they seduce men. And that really confused me, because every year your country holds the famous Reed Festival where you have thousands of young girls all dancing naked. So you program these young girls that it's okay for them to expose their body during the Reed Festival. And now you're saying that it's not okay for them to expose their body by wearing miniskirt? Really, Swaziland? This is a joke, okay? I mean, what an oxymoron. Anyway, I'm still wondering how they will arrest a witch if she can fly. Are they going to fly after her, or would they get like helicopter to fly after her to arrest her? Whatever happens, my people, I sure will let you know, and I'm just keeping it real. Well, One of the viewers of Keeping It Real recently sent me some pictures of Nigeria before and after independence, and I think that you guys would like to see some of these pictures. I want to be doing this every so often, so if you have some cool pictures of before and after independence, please email them to me at adeola.keepingitreal@gmail.com. But not just in Nigeria. If you live in another African country and you have some pictures of before and after independence, I like to use them as well because I'm always eager to learn about what goes on in other African countries. I will really appreciate this. I think this will help us to reflect on where we were and where we are right now. Are things getting better or not? Let's take a look.
The hold up now, bumper to bumper. We go back under the sun in Sahara. The hold up now, bumper to bumper. You go back under the sun in Sahara. Everybody run come out for village. Tell me who go till the soil, plant the crops and feed the...
Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'ma see y'all later. Peace out.
Welcome to Forstview Luxury Hotel. At Forstview Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forstview Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeola Mishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forceviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forstview Luxury Hotel, experience the home of comfort. They come.